still in section 6.6. We're on example 3. And this question here is asking you to do something called graphing the lines. We're going to graph the line. I gave you the equation in y equals mx plus b form. So I gave you this equation here. This is one of the special cases, so that one looks a little different. So we know special cases are horizontal and vertical. This one does not look like that, right? So this one looks like a regular old line. So when you get this, y equals mx plus b, so in your brain you go, oh, I know what this is, y equals mx plus b. I know that m stands for the slope and b stands for the y-intercept. So for here, I know that m equals -2, right, from here. And I also know here, that last number, that b equals, grab the whole number including the sign, -1. So please grab the negative with the 1. So keep the negative with the 1, right? So it's all of the -1. So keep the negative there. M is -2, and we looked at this before in chapter 5. Whenever you're given the m and you want to graph it, I need to know the rise and the run. So when I get a whole number, I put it over 1, and I say that this is my rise and this is my run. So again, this goes back to chapter 5. Rise is -2. If my rise is negative, that means I'm actually heading down. My run is positive, which is to the right. So when you're talking about rise and run, this is positive rise, and then this is a positive run. So up, sorry, that says run. So rise positive would be up, run positive would be to the right. If I say that the rise is negative, it would be the opposite, it would be heading down. If I say the run is negative, it's opposite, it's heading left. But typically, not typically, but for notation-wise, if it's positive rise, it's up. If it's negative rise, it's down. So you want me to, I'll put that down. So my rise would be this if it was a negative. Okay, and my run, if my run is negative, it would head left. Okay, so here I have a negative rise and a positive run. So the point that you start with is always going to be the y-intercept. So wherever the y-intercept is, you're going to draw a point there. So let's go over here to the graph. B is -1. So on your x and y axis, y-intercept, remember that's my y-intercept, right? We've been using that word, but now we know visually what it means. My y-intercept here is -1. So plot -1. From that point, we're going to do a -2 rise, and a run of 1. So that's down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1. From this point, count 2 squares down, 1, 2, right 1. From that point, one more time, 2 squares down, right 1. We're going to do that again from my new point. 2 squares down, 1, 2, right 1. Keep going with that pattern. How far do you want to do? You want to fill the graph. So we want to fill the grid. Fill the grid as far as possible. I need you to use a ruler so that you're demonstrating that you understand it is actually a straight line. And I want you to put arrows on the end telling me that you could have followed the pattern as long as possible that the grid was. Okay, so from -1, we went rise -2, which is down 2, right 1. From this new point, down 2 squares, right 1. From my new point, down 2 squares, right 1. From my new point here, down 2 squares, right 1. So if you follow the pattern, this should give you a perfectly straight line. You should also be able to, because now we're chapter 6, and we did this already in chapter 5, be able to go backwards. So if there wasn't enough room to go to the right, you would know how to go backwards. So if it's -2 rise, run 1, backwards would be back 1, up 2. So that's like moving the negative to the bottom. So it'd be a negative run and a positive rise. So if I move the negative to the bottom, so let's see how here it's -2 over 1. If I move the negative back to the bottom, it would be a +2 negative run. So negative run would be back 1, up 2, back 1, up 2, and you can see it follows the same pattern. Back 1, up 2, and we try to fill the grid as far as we can. I always want it full because sometimes we're looking for intersection, and we'll use this method all the time. Okay, sometimes we need it as long as possible. So we're going to use a ruler. You have to use a straight edge. If you don't use a straight edge, you're saying that you don't understand that a line, an equation of a line, is supposed to be straight. Okay, so you do have to use a straight edge. I also want you to have arrows on the end, which means that this pattern continues for as long as you can go on a grid. And the pattern will keep going forever and ever, right? So it's a non-stop pattern. So we need the arrows. So the arrows here, right? So these arrows here are these guys. That's what I mean. I need it to be done with a ruler, so you're showing me you understand that it's supposed to be straight, and you want to fill the grid with as much of the pattern as possible. The next example we have here is a special case. So I'm just going to move this down here. Y is -4. I'm going to star this. This is a special case. The special cases are the horizontal and verticals. So if you know that y is -4, you go to y. So y is -4, or sorry, +4. So it's over here. So we're going to plot this point. Y is 4. That's all we know about the line, is that y is 4 forever. So that means y is 4 across the entire grid. Y is 4 across the whole grid. Y, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, across this one. So that means it's going to be a horizontal line. So then you're going to draw with a ruler. And draw it, make it a little bit thicker so we can see your grid, your line. And then do you know what also helps? This. You put the arrows on so then we can definitely see where your line is. Notice how I make it as long as possible. We're filling the grid, we're using a ruler, and we're putting arrows. So fill the grid, arrows on the end, there we go. Sorry, I touched it a little bit with my marker, so ignore this little dash here. That's just, my marker touched it there. Okay. Make sure that your lines are clean and clear. There shouldn't be multiple lines on that. It shouldn't be shading, right? It's with a ruler. Okay, next one. X equals 2. So as soon as you see something that looks like this or like this, we know those are special cases. It's not just the y equals mx plus b form. These are our special cases. So this is another special case. Special case, I mean, is horizontal and vertical. So this one, it says x equals 2. So I go to my x, right, my x-axis here. I go to 2, which is here. I plot a point right here at 2. And that means it's always x is 2. So x is 2 all the way up and all the way down. So I know that x is 2 all the way up and all the way down forever. You don't have to do points because you're going to just draw the whole line all the way up and all the way down. Forever, x is 2. So this is a special case, and see how I tried to fill the grid as long as possible. See, look, fill the grid. We will mark that. I need you to use a ruler just so you can show that it's actually a straight line. You know that that's what this equation is, and arrows. So I didn't do the arrows yet, but we're going to do arrows at the end to say that this pattern continues on. It's not a line segment, it's a line forever and ever. This last one here is 4/3 x plus 2. So looking here, that's a special case. This one here, special case. This is just a rise, y equals mx plus b form. So I need the m and the b. So let's grab that. It's over here. I know that m is right here, so I know m is 4/3. And I know that b is +2, so 2. This we always know, this is always rise over run. We learned that in chapter 5. And b is 2, which is the y-intercept. So we're going to grab the 2 and put it over here first. That's my starting point. And then we're going to do a rise and run. So one more time. When I said 4 was the positive rise, that means up 4. And 3 is a positive run, which means to the right 3. So from this point, we're going to count 4 squares up and go right 3. From this point, count with me. 1, from corner to corner, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and run 1, 2, 3. So here's my new point. Try it again with me. From my new point, 1, 2, 3, 4, run 3, 1, 2, 3. So on the grid, you should be 4 squares from here, and you should be exactly at the same point as me. So look, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm at the very top. So if you look at your page, it should be at the same spot. If I want to continue the pattern backwards, I would drop. So see how it's rise and run? Both of them would be opposite. So I would go down 4, back 3. So both arrows would be opposite, right? That would flip both of them. So from this point, 1, 2, 3, 4, and back 3. 1, 2, 3. Now usually people go, do I have to do the backwards pattern? No, you have to do all the way to the right with one side, but sometimes we don't give you enough room and you have to go backwards. So you do have to know how to do it. As long as you fill the grid one way, that's okay, and then the pattern should follow here. But I recommend that you should know it because sometimes we don't give you enough room on the right and you have to go to the left. It just means that both of them would be opposite. So you still go rise and run. So up 4, right 3. To make it the backwards pattern, both of them are opposite. So down 4, back 3. Right, so for here, if I was going opposite, so see how this is rise 2, so I was down 2, run 1. To go opposite, it would go up 2, back 1. Right, and usually you can kind of see on the graph that it matches. So here if I went down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, back 3, 1, 2, 3, that would fill it up. And look, it's a perfect line. You'll know when you do something wrong because the line is crooked. And we're not supposed to have crooked lines, so we're going to do this. Okay, so see all those dots nicely line up. Ruler. You have to have a ruler to show that you understand this is a straight line. Okay, you can't just say it's a straight line, so you have to bring a straight edge to all your evaluations. I need you to put arrows and see how I filled the grid as long as I could. Right, so even if you can't draw these dots, I still want you to make the line as long as possible. And make sure you fill these dots. But you should know how to do it backwards at this point. By chapter 6, you should be able to do it backwards and forwards.